In a quiet corner of Africa, surrounded by tall mango trees and chirping birds, there stood a beautiful house. It wasn't too big and it wasn't too small. It was just right. Painted in warm colors like honey and clay, the house looked like it had grown right out of the garden. The windows were large and shiny with carved wooden frames that whispered stories when the wind passed through them. And inside this cozy house lived a very curious little boy named Jojo. Jojo wasn't just any ordinary boy. He could spot a butterfly hiding behind a banana leaf. He could tell which tree had the sweetest mangoes and which one had a grumpy squirrel living in it. Jojo loved nature. He loved bugs. Well, maybe not the ones that wiggled up your sleeve, but most of them. Every morning, Jojo would run into the garden, arms wide like a bird, shouting, "I'm coming, my leafy friends!" One bright morning, Jojo was skipping past his big sister Abena's window when he stopped. His eyes grew wide. Two birds were flapping and fluttering right on the windowsill. One had shimmering blue feathers. The other had golden brown wings. They carried tiny twigs and blades of grass in their beaks. Jojo gasped and whispered, "They're building a nest right in Abena's window. This is the best day ever." From that day, Jojo visited them every morning. He even gave them names, Pecky and Fluffball. "They're a team," Jojo told the flowers. "Fluffball builds, Pecky supervises." By the fourth day, the nest was finished. It looked like a round, fluffy bowl made of love, leaves, and a little bit of garden magic. But the next morning, Abena spotted it. "Birds? In my window?" she said. "What if they mess up the window?" Jojo's eyes widened. "Please, Abena, don't move it. It's their home now, just like we have ours." He paused, then added, "And maybe we could clean after them?" Abena raised an eyebrow, then smiled. "Okay, little nature nerd, but you're in charge of them." Jojo saluted. "Yes, ma'am. Bird babysitter reporting for duty." A few days later, Jojo peeked at the nest and gasped. Inside was a tiny white egg. The next day, 2, then 3. He waited for a 4th. He even brought an extra worm. But nope, just 3. And that was perfectly perfect. Then one morning it happened. 3 tiny baby birds had hatched. They were pink, featherless, wrinkly, and very loud. Jojo laughed and said, "They look like tiny grandpas with no feathers." He quickly gave them names, Cheep Cheep, Beaky, and Bumblebeak. Bumblebeak, as it turned out, was the wobbliest, flappiest, clumsiest of them all. Jojo watched them every day. He even made a bird chart and checked off when each one chirped, flapped, or sneezed. But one day, dark clouds rolled in. The sky turned gray, and rain poured down without stopping. The parent birds huddled under a leaf. The baby birds chirped quietly, hungry and cold. Jojo stood at the window. He couldn't bear to see them go unfed. Then he put on his bright yellow raincoat and red boots. "It's worm hunting time," he said. He tiptoed through the puddles and dug carefully in the soft, soggy soil. 1 wiggly worm, 2, then 3. He placed them gently on a big green leaf and carried it to the window. Soon, Pecky and Fluffball flew down and chirped with joy. They fed the worms to their babies, hopping and flapping like they were doing a happy dance. Jojo beamed with pride. Even Bumblebeak gave a little bounce. The days passed. The rain stopped. The baby birds grew soft, fluffy feathers. They flapped their tiny wings. They chirped louder, stronger, braver. Then one morning, Jojo watched as Cheep Cheep flew, then Beaky, then Bumblebeak. Wobbly, bouncy, zigzaggy, but flying. Jojo jumped up and down, clapping. They did it. That afternoon, something magical happened. Jojo opened the front door and stopped. Right there on the porch was a big golden mango. Not just any mango, the one Jojo had been eyeing for days. High up in the tallest tree, way too high to reach. He looked up. Above him, Pecky and Fluffball circled in the sky, chirping gently. Jojo held the mango in his hands and whispered, "Thank you." He sat on the porch, sunlight warming his face, and took the first juicy bite. The birds soared into the sky. And Jojo, he smiled, because he knew they would never forget him, and he would never forget them. After all, he was their first friend. and every garden remembers kindness. Like and subscribe for more stories like this. Thanks.